All right, we're live. So welcome to the Turaco Cast. We haven't been on for a while, and we're early, so hopefully people show up. And we have a guest today. Our guest is Brandon Ingram from. I'm getting all these notifications that I'm live from Dismay Comics. Anna couldn't be here today. It's a little too early for her, but maybe next time. So if it is your first time watching, my name is Frank Salazar, aka Captain Goggles. You can find me on my other channel, Salazar Art Mission. There is links in the description below. You can also find Anna on Anna Raub on YouTube and Hatchling Studio on Instagram, and we got links to all that in the descriptions. And we're just gonna get into the show, and we have Brandon. He is the creator of Gallows Man, and I got the digital copy here.
Thank you.
And so Brandon, just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. So I'm Brandon Ingram. I'm the uh, writer, editor of the Gallows Man. I do everything except the art, and when it comes to the art, like Helen Bolton does nearly everything with that. And what I mean by that is she does pencils, inks, colors, lettering. Um, and I would add a fifth thing of like little promotional stuff. Like I gave her the write up idea of like these bookmarks, and she did
Oh,
the
wow.
art for them. Like she does a lot. And then the cover artist Thomas Tikas, he did the issue 1 cover art there. And then Rick Alves, he did the variant cover art for issue 1.
Okay.
And they're both doing both the main cover art and variant cover art for issue 2 as well. But yeah, so I making the Gallows Man. I'm basically have a publishing line called Dismay Comics where the Gallows Man gets pumped out through, as well as like some future titles that I'll have, like some horror anthology titles, as well as some other stuff I'm working on. But the focus now that the focus right now is the Gallows Man, just with the Kickstarter going on. But the Gallows Man and those horror anthologies are the main stuff I'm working on now.
All right. That's cool. Okay, I'm gonna turn this down because it's gonna be annoying. Yeah, it's cool. So I was going over it, and I know you did a show with the Artcasters. So that's actually where I first saw you. So it's Gallows Man is dark humor. So if anyone you're into that, I did a review of it on my channel. So if you guys want to go check it out, it's up there. Uh, but yeah, so it's a dark humor, and so can you like what drew you to dark humor to making like that?
Um, well, when it comes to humor in general, I'm not a stand-up comedian or anything like that. I could never do that. That's its own beast. But I've always enjoyed humor. I've always enjoyed comedy, and uh, just through like over the years, through like high school and onward, I've just really been drawn to watching stand-up, watching skits, reading comedic books like Norm Macdonald's
Okay.
book. Forgot what it's
Uh,
called. It's like
this is not the
this is
memoir
not
of
a
Norm
memoir.
Macdonald.
Yeah. One of the funniest books I've ever read. Like a book that's not a comic, like an actual book. It's one of the
Yeah.
funniest things I've ever read. Um,
Both Adam Laurie in the chat and myself were huge Norm Macdonald fans.
same,
So
same.
we've done when I've been on his show, like we're just like saying the old jokes.
Yeah. Yeah. Like
Based on a true story. That's what's funny.
I loved like everything Norm Macdonald did. I'm looking forward to it's literally a week from now, Netflix dropping his special that he did in his living room before passing. I'm really
Yeah.
looking forward to that. Yeah, I watched like all of the podcast stuff when he had that. I liked a lot of his uh, uh, weekly update stuff. His
Hmm.
the only stuff I haven't seen is like Dirty Jobs and stuff, like those
Really?
movies. I've seen like his stand up. I've seen all that stuff. I just
Oh,
haven't seen
okay.
like those one or two movies that he made. I've seen like the Adam Sandler movies where he's like featured in it.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, but I love Norm Macdonald. He's my favorite comedian, if not like if he's not my favorite, he's in the top three for sure. Um, but yeah, just and Norm, not nowhere near comparing myself to Norm, but just saying like influences. Norm has some dark sense of humor sometimes,
Yes.
um, and I'd say that's sometimes where I draw influence from is from him as well as just various other comedians. Um,
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
we've
like
done that as well. We've told a few jokes, and I got in trouble. So,
it's one of those things where like if it's if you're not
I
around
answered
another
myself.
person that enjoys Norm Macdonald or knows about his jokes and you repeat one of
Yeah.
them, someone will be like, oh. But yeah, like I love his comedy. But yeah, I just like comedy in general. Um, and I love superheroes. Like I grew up reading
Yep.
high school when I found out about like indie comics where it's like, oh, it's not just superhero stuff. Um,
Yeah,
I,
it's more underground stuff and
yeah, I think the
creator owned.
general public, when they hear comics, they just think superhero comics. Um,
Batman, Superman.
yeah, yeah, exactly. But yeah, once I got into high school, that's when I started branching out and different stuff and not just reading superhero stuff.
Oh,
But yeah, kind of my love for comedy as well as my love for superheroes kind of drew me into writing the story, The Gallows Man, which was originally a feature length script. Like I wrote it as a screenplay because I was
okay.
writing screenplays and short films and stuff. Like, let's see, 2017, late 2017 is when I wrote the first draft of the screenplay. So around that time, and a couple years before that, I was writing like strictly screenplays. And eventually I looked at it and adapted it and converted it into uh, like a comic script and found Helen and hired her to do the art for it. Um, but yeah, like there's various influences with the Gallows Man. There's
Yeah.
Golden Age comics influences where you have a lot of, again, I'm going to say this. I've said it on some other shows. I'm not for the Comics Code Authority, but I get in theory why it started because
Yeah.
there were some Golden Age books where it's like, I don't know if I would want like a little 5-year-old reading that. Um,
Yeah.
Obviously, a parent should be the one doing that, but not all parents are great. They're not uh, supervising what their kids buy or do. Um, so, in theory, it made sense, but then they went extreme with the comics code to
Yeah.
where I don't like it, no one likes it. Um, but that golden age of like kind of anything could go, where you had superheroes like killing the bad guys, um, a little bit of that, and then like also some Silver Age influence with Silver Age being like fun, like just a fun time. Like usually Silver Age books were like that one issue was one whole complete story, and it was just a fun time. You have Superman doing his goofy stuff during the Silver Age. Um, and shortly after that, you have Batman, the Adam West show pops up.
Hmm.
And that's the fun, campy Batman and stuff. And that's where influence for the Gallows Man gets drawn. And then some modern influences of like how more modern comics are more violent, I guess I would say. So there's a bunch of influences right there, but like tonally, and I describe this all the time. I sound like a broken record. Tonally, for the Gallows Man, it's take the 1960s Adam West Batman show and then throw in some Quentin Tarantino movie violence, and you got the
Yeah.
Gallows Man.
All right, that's the one that I was trying to remember because I know you were talking about it on the Artcasters. Because I did a review for the thing, and I was trying to be like, oh man, what was that other thing you compared it to? So I just was like, 60s Batman and like real life violence. So,
Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
like it's not just like it doesn't even have to be Quentin Tarantino movie violence. It could just be like name a modern movie that has kind of over the top violence, and boom.
yeah, yeah, and I definitely saw that, and at first I was like, man, I don't know, like, but like, you know what, this is actually kind of my humor. So like I have kind of that dark humor as well. But,
Yeah, I've had people
so yeah,
say
like
like they read issue 1 or issue 2, and they get to a point within one of the issues, and they're like, I got to this point and I like started laughing, and I'm like, why did I laugh at that? That's so like dark or messed up.
yeah, uh, I can show spoilers, but well,
Yeah, no problem.
the thumbnail, so I really like that scene,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah, they're walking out
what
of the
was it?
warehouse after killing and kicking all the bad guys' butts, and while they're
Yeah,
walking out, their newsboy does a hanging pun,
yeah,
kind of that campy fun humor of the Adam West show. But then you see what's in the background. It's like, oh my gosh, like
yeah,
they're they're doing that after that.
yeah. That was the part where I was like, "This is funny." Like everyone shows to my kids, I like this.
Oh yeah. It's one of those things where
Yeah,
you definitely gotta vet the book before you consider showing it to a kid, because there's no language, there's no sexual
yeah.
themes, there's no
No, that's what I've noticed. Yeah,
smoking, no alcohol. The main thing, because I have on the back of the book M for mature, the main reason I do that is the violence and
yeah,
the blood and some gore and stuff.
yeah. And you know, if you're okay with your kid seeing gore, you know, pick this up. So, uh, but uh, let me pick this over here. But yeah, so we were talking before we went live. So you have a whole line set up. You have like issues ready. You know, like
Oh yeah.
are those gonna delve into like is it gonna be like a specific storyline or just like one-off jokes or
So it's going to be a 4-issue mini series. There's potential for stuff after that, but how I wrote that initial screenplay before I made it a comic was it was all this story, and then this 4-issue mini series is the narrative from that screenplay. So 4-issue mini series, but each issue is like super packed. Like the first issue itself was just 49 pages of story in total. Like it's
hmm
like not including um, the covers, the back cover, the interior covers and stuff. It's 52 pages, but 49 pages of story in the first issue,
yeah
49 pages of story in the second issue. Um, so 4 issues in total, but you're getting like 8 to 9 issues worth of story because each issue is like double sized basically. Um,
yeah
but forgot where I was getting at with that. um, oh yeah.
oh
So with the story itself, it's that 4 issues is all one story. Like at the end of issue 1, um, not to spoil too much, there's a lead that gets dropped. They're trying to find someone. They're trying to find the main bad guy, to put it not crazy spoiler. The main bad guy, his name is Major Swastika. They're trying to find him, and a lead gets dropped at the end of the first issue. And then issue 2 picks up from there and expands from there, and it just keeps going, with issue 4 being the end of the whole story. There is potential for a sequel miniseries, as well as at least an anthology one-shot, if not like a miniseries of like little stories following like side characters of this world. Like the anthology series, you won't have a story about Gallows Man. You'll have like a 6 to 10 page story about Newsboy, or a 6 to 10 page story about Hangmutt, Gallows Man's dog, or 6 to 10 page story following Major Swastika's henchmen who are trying to set up a birthday party for him, and they're super stressed about that because he tends to like to kill his henchmen when they do anything wrong. Various stuff like that. And I'd like to have, if it's just a one shot, I would like to have like at least 5 or 6 little stories like that within it. But yeah, so there's potential of that, and likely potential for a sequel miniseries after this 4-issue one.
Oh wow, that's pretty it's pretty awesome. So I'm gonna ask: was the Three Amigos one of your influence?
It was not. The main reason I say that is I haven't ever fully watched the Three Amigos. I want to.
Oh, okay.
I've only seen like a scene from it, and it was at like an event I was at once. It was like a 2 to 3 minute scene. But Three Amigos is not an influence.
Okay, and the reason I ask that, because the bad guy is like this charismatic guy, but he's like very much a bad guy, and there is a scene that is similar, that he's having a birthday party and the henchmen are
Yeah, yeah,
throwing up like this party for him. So, so that's why I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, like wonder.
But yeah, I hope to do that story in that future anthology one shot or miniseries, or whatever it'll be. I'm still deciding
Yeah.
what that'll be. I'll at least do a 1-issue one shot of those little random stories following the random characters in the world.
Oh, cool. Um, yeah, so the if you, or when you do the anthology, would that be like various like stories within that world, or just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
different
It
creators? Okay.
follows. It'll follow, like, I'll do like 5 to 7 different stories within each issue, or if it's just one issue, just the one. And it'll be characters within Town City, like the city that Gallows Man is in. But none of the little stories will be about Gallows Man himself. They'll be about like Hangmutt the dog, or Newsboy, or those henchmen, or Bertwald the butler at the guillotine, the Wayne Manor, basically. Little things like that will be what that anthology makes up.
Okay. My back, or you back? I think my internet connection did
Oh, I
something.
gotcha.
So I just saw a black screen. I was barely gonna get on and communicate through you.
Oh, I gotcha. I gotcha.
Oh, where were we? Oh, the anthology. That's what I was asking.
Yeah, yeah. It'll be mostly like the characters within Town City, like not Gallows
Okay.
Man himself, but it'll follow different
Okay.
characters within Town
Okay.
City with each story.
All right, that's cool. Kind of like the Canterbury Tales, where like each person has like their little.
Yeah,
Their,
yeah. And it won't entirely like play into the plot of this mini series that's going on, the Gallows Man mini
Okay.
series. It'll be
So
more
it'll
about
be
like
its own thing.
just like a daily thing of showing Nooseboy on a random day what he's doing, showing Hangmutt what Hangmutt's doing on a random day, that sort of thing.
Oh wow. That's, yeah, that sounds cool. That sounds interesting. Are you planning on having like different creators, or just gonna be you doing all these stories?
So with the anthology, I was planning on uh, writing all the stories. I might get a buddy of mine to help me with one or two. Um, I was planning on writing all those stories, but with the anthology, I would like to have a different artist for each story because I think
Oh,
that
okay.
would make it feel very unique.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it'll make it stand out a little bit more. Uh, I like the artist for the first issue, the one I seen, Helen Bolton.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see like what other artists you have. Is
Oh yeah.
she
Oh, yeah.
is she still the artist for issue two?
Yeah, yeah. She issue two like is completely done. Like the comic is completely done. It's
Oh,
literally
okay.
just like printing it pretty much. We're actually working on issue three right now. Um,
Okay.
she's about a quarter way through with the art on issue three.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool. Uh, 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 so have you had like any like printing mishaps or delays and stuff like that? I know we're talking a little bit about it uh before.
From the Kickstarter I did last year, there were no issues at all. There were no problems with our printer, like the printer I use based out of New York. There's no problems like shipping it. There were no problems like doing the little promotional stuff like stickers and
Oh, okay.
bookmarks and stuff like that. There's no issues with that. So uh, I hope that carries over
It
into this
continues, yeah.
Kickstarter. Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
that would be great. Who do
Yeah.
you go with? Like Comics Wellspring or
No, I have used Comics Wellspring in the past, and they're like my backup. Like they Comics Wellspring, it does very good work, but I'd have to look it up. Hold on, let me see real quick. Um, I'm trying to remember. It's something Universe. Uh,
let's see.
it's a lesser known printer. I found out about it through last year, it was like late 2020 maybe. There was a Kickstarter publisher, like a comic publisher, that were
Hmm.
using this printer, and I saw that they were using this printer, and I reached out because I saw they did good work, and I just wanted to see price wise, like what was the difference between them and Comics Wellspring, and there was a little bit difference, and whenever I got um, what am I thinking of? Like preview or not preview, um, I ordered like some copies just to see what it would look
Oh,
like.
the proofs.
Yeah, proofs. Thank you. My brain's everywhere right now. I ordered some proofs to see what it would look like, and I was like, oh, this looks good. It fits perfectly for the Gallows Man, um, and it was a little bit cheaper than Comics Wellspring, so I plan on going with them again this year. But Comics Wellspring is always that good backup for me.
Yeah, yeah. I hear good things about Comics Wellspring, so that's the
Oh
one
yeah,
that kind of stuck into mind. Uh, I'm uh, so we are talking before the oh, I have them here, so show them. So I do these mini comics, and I do different ones, but I ended up kind of doing like a little series with Captain Goggles and Mask Woman, and that's loosely based on myself and my co-host Anna Raub. Like she wears a mask and I wear the goggles, and I decided I want to do a little story, and she is like, well, if you're gonna do a story, it's gotta mean something. So like, don't just do something small, do something big. So like we
Yeah, yeah.
talked story, and we're actually revamping everything. And she's like doing this big script, like rewriting it. But before that, because she's still working on that, and I'll be doing the art. I did these mini comics. So you got Captain Gauss and
Oh yeah,
Maskellman.
yeah. That's awesome.
Uh, and Maskellman is typing. So this one was more of a jokey one, and then it gets into a little bit of a story. This is where they kind of meet up. And I do have, I don't have it on Etsy yet, but I do have the third issue, and I did that one a little bit bigger. I did it as an ashcan size, and I did some of the layouts and the composition. So I liked how that was looking, and I was like, you know what, I want to get this one printed, uh, by a professional printer, and it just happened that it would just be better if I just combined all three of them, and I did it
Oh
in
yeah,
color.
yeah.
So all right, so like that's what I did, and just getting everything done, and then going over the printer, but like it was like delays because different things, different events were coming up, and
Yeah.
and then I got a call today that um, the guy that formatted everything, and he's sending it to a printer that he goes with. Uh, he's never done comics before, so this is like someone that does flyers and brochures
I got you.
and
Yeah, yeah.
banners. So this was a whole new experience for him. So he like clicked on the wrong template deal. So it would have
Okay.
been like the pages wouldn't have
Fit
lined up. It
on
would have been
the.
less
Yeah, yeah.
pages. So, but you know, he's getting a refund, and then he's gonna redo it. It's actually gonna cost me cheaper, a little less. Uh, so I was
Nice.
like, oh, okay, well that's great. So it's just right now it's just waiting. But yeah, but like I was having like delays and just little errors. But
Yeah, because the
uh,
one thing I've noticed with this year, maybe it'll change a year from now or whatever, but when I did the Kickstarter last year, there was a price
and then
for both the printer I use now as well as Comics Wellspring.
mhm.
And now this year, whenever I was shopping around and seeing what would be the best printer, I realized because of the paper shortage
Yes,
that all printers have went up in price.
yeah,
Some more than others, but it is. I did notice with all printers, it is more expensive than it was a year ago.
yeah. And that was one of the things that happened with me. I did have a price, but then it had gone up because of the paper shortage. It
Yeah,
didn't go up by that much, but then with this one where it's oh well, you were actually using the wrong one, so it's gonna cost you a little bit less. Like, oh, okay, well that's fine. So
I
it
got you.
it evened out, so
Yeah, yeah.
that's so good. But yeah, but I do have the Anna did the cover, so I do have the cover because I had it made into a journal, which you can get this journal on my Etsy store. I did it through Printful, so I just added the design. So this is what it would look like, and it'll be this size, like dash cam size.
Nice. And it'll have
So
all three issues.
yes, so it'll be thinner than this, but yeah, it'll have all three issues and uh, in color because the main comics are in black and white. But yeah, and I also had that made into a shirt, so you can get that
Nice.
on the Teespring store. So there's links to that. If you just go to Turaco Comics in the description and link the link tree, it'll take you to all that.
Now, I was thinking
But
about
yeah,
this a few minutes ago with the Captain Goggles character. Did like you dressing, being the character Captain Goggles, did that happen first, or was it on? Did you do a comic first? Like, which was first?
the actually this was first,
Okay,
and I didn't I don't wear like a full suit. Now I'm thinking like getting something made, but I started wearing these goggles, And just for something, because I like to wear something, and I just I thought, oh, it'll be cool. I'll just put it on. And Anna was already wearing her mask. Because she makes these masks out of different material, and she would like put one on, and I was like, well, I can't have my co-host wearing something cool and me not wear something cool.
Yeah, yeah.
So like the 2 or 3 episodes when we were streaming, I'm just like trying different things out. So just like, oh, a helmet or just this hat, but I wouldn't keep it on. And then like, oh, well, I have these goggles. It's easier to put on and leave on, and it doesn't interfere. So I just kept those on, and we had someone in the chats, and I made him mod. But he said like, oh, it's Captain Goggles and Masked Woman. And I was like, oh, that sounds like a cool superhero names.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, I can do a little comic. so, uh, so it came from that, and so we tried to like separate like us on the show and in the comic. So it's like Diana's coming up with this whole big story, and but yeah, like it came from that. So it was real life, and then it turned into uh, fantasy. So
That's cool. That's really cool.
yeah, and
Yeah, it's interesting, like the various stuff within life that can be put into your stories or put into your art. Like,
oh
because
yeah,
this will see the light of day eventually. But Dismay Avenue is like my horror anthology series,
hmm
and the first issue of that, like the first, it's going to be a 40-page story. The first
oh,
like
wow.
15 to first 15 to 18 pages is like beat for beat of a date I had back in college. It's
Okay,
like exactly how it's like building up to like it takes place in a movie theater, and like weird stuff starts happening and horror and stuff like that. But like the first third of that story is pretty much the exact experience we had. We showed up to this movie theater we didn't ever hear about. Like we didn't know it existed in the town we were in. Went there. There's no one there, no one in the parking lot. And it's like, oh, this is interesting. Like no one is
yeah,
here. And it's not like the middle of the day. It's like prime time, like 6 p.m., 7 p.m. on like a
okay,
Friday or Saturday. And there's no one here. There's one car in the parking lot, but I'm assuming it was like the concession girl. Or I also forgot this. We walk in, and also it has the thing on the ticket booth of like go inside for tickets or whatever, and we're like, oh, okay, this is great. Like, what if we walk in and it just locks and we're
yeah,
stuck inside playing some Saw game or something? uh, we go in, and like there's two concession girls, like teenagers, and they're just saying they're like trying to chat with us because they're probably extremely bored, like
oh
no
okay,
one's there, so they're trying to talk. We talk with them some, but there's like this weird it, not saying the guy's weird, but the scenario is weird. There's like someone in a hoodie like just standing off to the side in this little lobby of the movie theater. He's like, I don't know, it was just a weird scenario. And then we go into our auditorium, we sit down, and the ads start playing, and then there was like a Chevy ad that popped up, but it like froze on the ad, and it played this like 10-second piano loop over and over again for like 5 minutes. And we finally realized, because we were talking for 5 minutes, we finally realized that. We're like, what the heck? So I was like, I'm going to go tell them to like restart the projector or whatever.
yeah,
And we were thinking we were getting brainwashed by Chevy or something, because they just kept playing that ad over and over again. But that's where like the comic, that's where like the real life part ends. After that,
okay,
I do the fictional horror stuff. But yeah, the point of me saying all that is like with Captain Goggles and Masked Woman, those inspirations or those things from real life, how they can just be in like
Yeah.
involved in your story or in your art or whatever it may be.
Oh, very much. There and there's like little hints like the first one, Mask Woman, is typing that that comes from like when I'm messaging Anna, like I'll just ask her something, or say something in passing, and she'll just start typing, and like, well, I'm gonna go get something to eat or do something, and she's still typing.
Yeah,
So it's just, so that's where that came from, and then it goes into like a little like, oh, what do you think about this? And then we should meet up, and so. But yeah, so all that will be is in the comic. But yeah, like it comes from like a real life scenario, and then fantasy, and there's a robot
yeah.
dinosaur, uh, and yeah, and like and there's stuff. I do have the PDF of that ready. I'm just waiting for the comic itself to get here, and then like I'll
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
put it up on Gumroad. Um, like I don't know, or how did you do when you got your? Did you put them out at the same time, or did you have like
For
for Gallows
you mean
Man,
like,
like the
well, when
PDF
I
and the cover, and the I mean the comic, the physical comic?
oh I did both on Kickstarter,
Okay.
like that's how I wanted to like get it out, because I know there's no way, at least at this point, and I'm not like banking on this in the future, but diamond distribution, I don't see that happening for me anytime soon. So
Yeah.
I was trying to think of the next best alternative. I think Kickstarter and Indiegogo is kind of a good way of that. At least like getting like a bunch of initial readers, because I could put it like there were some sites and different stuff, as well as like putting it on like a digital shop or whatever it may
Okay.
be, and I'd probably get like a read or a buy like every few months if I did that. But I wanted like to build like an initial hype with like
Yes.
each issue kind of, and to make it as big as I can make it right now, with me being like a newbie in the indie comic scene. And so
Okay.
that's kind of how I've been going about with it with the Gallows Man, and I kind of hope to do that with Dismay Avenue, of like each time one of these comics come out, it's just like a little tiny event for those that
Yeah.
like these type of stories and stuff.
That's it. And the crowdfunding seems to be the way to go. I decided to do a version of that, just with just doing it locally, but I'll still be putting the because I ordered a hundred copy run. So I'll
Nice, nice.
be putting some on Etsy and just like in increments, so I don't get like flooded with like, oh, now I have to go buy a
Yeah,
hundred
yeah,
Gemini mailers.
yeah. That makes complete sense. Yeah,
uh, but yeah, and there are some I do want to like kind of like have to give out. Like I'll be sending Anna like a couple of copies, since she worked on this, so she should
yeah,
have a
yeah.
copy. But yeah, but that is something that we're thinking with the rebooted version, and we're calling it Warp Anchor 7. So it's like this whole world and the characters in there, and more
Yeah,
than
yeah.
just Captain Gallows and Mask Woman. But that's one thing that we're thinking crowdfunding once it's ready, or even putting out on webtoons at first. But
Oh yeah, yeah.
so I'm not too sure if we do go that route. It might be on webtoons first for a while, and then I'll just kind of pull some pages, and then just like, oh, crowdfund it. And so like, if you want to see the rest, go go buy
Yeah, yeah. That's not a
the
bad idea. Yeah, yeah. Because yeah, like with that like initial like get someone hooked into the story, and then it's like, if you want to see more, here's where you see it. Like I
Mhm.
I kind of want to do this next year, with the Gallows Man, because I noticed Free Comic Book Day the past a couple weeks ago. There's indie creators that will go to comic shops and have tables and stuff. And I was like, I wish I thought about this a few months ago. I would have reached out, and that would have been great. But it gives me time to think, because now I'm thinking I do want to set up for one of those comic shops, and like one of those things of like trying to get a reader in is making like a little 8-page Gallows Man comic for Free Comic Book Day. Like people can have it for free. I don't charge. Like I'll have the actual comic there to sell, but like have little 8-page. It'd basically be, you read the first issue, it'd be that first 7 pages.
Yes.
It'd be up to the Gallows Man title sequence and the radio announcer, and then the radio gets smashed, and then after that be like, want to see what happens next? The Kickstarter, it'd be like a promo for the Kickstarter coming up for like issue 3 or something. I'd be like, want to see what happens next? Support the Kickstarter and back the book and get the rest of the books. That's something I'm thinking about doing. I'm just trying to see how much it'll cost to print like at least like 100 of those little 8-page comics.
And that. Go ahead.
Well, like my budget with that, like to print 100 of them, I don't really want to spend more than $200 because it's 8-page comics and I'm giving them for free. So
that is roughly what I paid for, or I paid for the 32-page story, and it's 100 copies, and let's see, it was a 220, but I'm getting like 50 back because of the thing, so just under like 200, and
okay. That's pretty good.
Yeah, but I think that would like also depend on like who you go with, or you choose a local country.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, and that is something that I wanted to do, like put these out as little mini comics, just a little bit more professional. But like I wasn't able to do just 8 pages; it had to be more, and so that's why. Okay, well, I'll just do the whole thing then, because I was planning on doing that anyway. But like more down the line, like, well, I can do it now.
So, and the reason I'm thinking the 8-page thing is like, I love Free Comic Book Day, but at the end of the day, all of those comics are just an advertisement for that series. You get a little snippet. It's not even entirely a full issue. A lot of times it's like, here's what the full first issue will be like, or here's what the series will be like. It's a little teaser. It's like a little teaser trailer or a little trailer of what the series will be. So that's kind of what I want to do with 8 pages pretty much. Oh, I think I lost you.
Okay, I'm back.
Oh, okay, there you go.
I was like, oh, not again.
I was afraid.
I know.
I was afraid the comic printers came after you. They heard the good deals you were getting, and they're like, "We can't allow this.
We can't have this." So Free Comic Day, it's an ad, like advertisement. So I got I think it was the Ninja Turtle one. I think it's going to be like a storyline that they're doing, but they did a story specifically for Free Comic Book Day, but it was like the first 8 pages retold of the original, Ninja Turtles with the newer
Oh, okay.
updated characters, and then after that, it was the first 8 pages of the original. So like, oh, okay, cool. You can kind of compare
That's
and read
cool.
that. So
Yeah,
it was like something specifically created for that, and they just like
that's pretty
recreated
cool.
the first issue. So I liked it. I never hear. Oh yeah, it's here. Actually, I did a. I was practicing doing remarks, so I did one here on the corner,
That's cool.
and on I had these, so I just put it there. So I just
Oh
did a
yeah,
little
on the
sketch.
backer. Yeah, yeah. That's awesome.
So yeah, so this is I want to do something like this for Captain Goggles and Masked Woman, uh, like do remarks on like a few of them, maybe like 3 or 4, and then like put those up on for a higher price on Etsy,
Yeah,
and
that'd be cool.
even do a sketch on the back. But yeah, like it's just getting people interested, and like, hey, check this out.
As
Even
well
though
as
it's just a
it's
comic.
like that one is like one of a kind because it's
Yeah,
that like kind of one of a kind remark right there.
yeah. So yeah, so that is really something. I might have to cover. It'll probably have to be like around here.
Yeah, yeah.
I want to cover up in here or maybe up here. Just draw another bug.
That's that was the struggle with me not doing remarks, but when I did the first issue of Gallows Man, the Kickstarter last year, some of the reward tiers are like I signed the book, like have my signature on the book,
Mm-hmm.
and I included because me personally, I kind of prefer the signature on the interior, and I didn't know if anyone
Okay.
else felt that same way with me. I know ultimately it stands out and looks better on the cover. So I had
Yeah.
the option for those that did the signed. I was like, okay, do you want me to sign the cover, or sign the interior, like the interior cover?
Yeah.
Um, and like most said cover, there were a few that said interior. But as I was like signing the cover, I was like, I don't like I don't want to sign too big or anything because I love the
Yeah.
cover. Like I don't want
Yeah.
to like I don't want to like in my mind and my opinion destroy this work of art by doing my crappy signature on it.
Yeah. And that's the same with this because like man, this is a work of art in itself. It's like like I won't be like,
Where do I
and
do it?
my
Yeah,
name
exactly.
here, like,
Like where's the
across.
spot to do it basically? Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, I want to do a remark, like, I'm like, there's not. I guess I can here or here, and I could do a
Yeah, yeah.
signature around here somewhere, or on the interior. And that was something that I was thinking because I want to also offer that too. Uh, but I want to be like, oh, you can get my signature for double the price, or like,
Yeah.
or
And
like
that's the
what
thing
what to
with
charge for a
me.
signature. Yeah.
Exactly. Like with me, I my higher Kickstarter tiers aren't for the signature. That's just like an added little bonus. Like those
Okay.
higher tiers where it's like a few dollars more, it's like, oh, you get like both covers, and you get a sticker set, and you get the PDF of the script and all this stuff. That's really in my head what you're paying for.
Yeah.
And then like the signature is just like added little bonus. Yeah, like I don't ever want to like charge for a signature or anything like it, in Kickstarter, or like if I'm because I want to do conventions
Yeah.
in 2023. Like if someone wants me to sign their book, sure, I'll do it. But I'm not going to be like, hey, I'm nobody. I'm little old nobody comic creator. $10 for the signature. Like, it's like, no,
Yeah.
like, I know my space in the indie comic landscape. I'm this newbie. And even if, like, again, I'm not trying to like hype myself up or anything like that. If like I progressed in comics or whatever, I don't want to like charge for a signature. I just think, I don't know. For comic writers, I think it's a little bit odd to charge for a signature. The big guys, like, sure, they can charge, but like don't have like insane like fees or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, do you want my editor to sign your book?
Like it makes more sense for the comic artist to charge for a signature, because that feels different to me. I feel like that's worth charging. And that's the thing, because I'm now thinking about it, I'm being a little bit of a hypocrite thinking about this, because I am willing to pay for a writer's signature. Like if I had a Jeff Lemire book, I mostly just do trades now. The only floppies I get are like Kickstarter or indie floppies. But if I like saw Jeff Lemire at a convention, and let's say he was charging $10 or $20 for signatures or whatever, I'd pay for a signature just because I really like Jeff Lemire as a writer.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm a little bit hypocritical there. To basically state it all, I guess it's whatever.
If you find worth in it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If that fan finds worth in it. Yeah. Because as I was working all that out in my head, I was like, yeah, there's a few writers I'd pay a signature for.
Okay. All right. We should go on for an hour. We're at the 52-minute mark, so I don't know if there's anyone still in the chat. So if you got any questions, anything you guys want to ask, or Brandon, if there's anything you want to ask, or give a shout out or promote. There is the Kickstarter link in the description, guys. So if you want to go check it out.
And if you want a copy of the books, it's both issues 1 and 2. If you want a copy of the books, the only way to get them is the Kickstarter, and there's less than 9 days left right now. There's a reward tier for any budget. Their reward tiers start from $1, go all the way to $70. A reward tier within any budget. Every little bit helps keep this series going and making it happen. I actually wanted to say thank you to like all the backers that have backed so far, because as of like 2 hours ago, or 2 to 3 hours ago, we broke 2 goals we were trying to hit. We reached our second stretch goal of $1,000 for the campaign. We reached our second stretch goal, and now all physical backers will get a Gallows Man No Butts sticker. You can go to the Kickstarter page and look at the stretch goal and see what the heck I'm talking about with that. So all physical backers will get that, as well as we hit our 42 backer giveaway. The reason it was 42 backers is the Gallows Man takes place in 1942. I figured that would be fitting. We hit 42 backers, so one of the physical backers of those 42 backers, because not all 42 are physical, so that makes it even easier for those physical backers. Like it's less competition, I guess, or whatever. I will put all physical backers of those 42 in a random name generator, get the name from that, and that backer will get this huge like promo package. Basically, you get this Gallows Man. This is from the first Kickstarter. This Gallows Man bookmark. He's saying, "Remember, kids, reading is power." A bit odd for someone like Gallows Man to do children's PSAs, but a Gallows Man title sticker, so you can place it on your forehead. You're now called the Gallows Man. You can place it on your wall. Your wall is now called the Gallows Man. A Gallows Man sticker.
Okay.
Dismay comic sticker, and a poop joke sticker from the comic. It says, "I see you've started your morning duties already." So one lucky backer from those 42 will receive all this with their order that they have. And that's not all. We're leading into a stretch goal. There's a stretch goal at 1,500 where all backers, digital or physical, will get a an 8-page PDF comic. It's one of the horror comics I'm working on. They'll
Okay.
get that. But and I haven't like put this on Kickstarter or social media yet. I'll probably do it tonight or tomorrow morning. They'll get that. Oh, I think I lost you. It's those printers coming after him.
Um,
Oh, there you are.
okay.
It's those printers again.
Yeah.
They're after you. But yeah, every 10 backers now, I'm going to do one of these giveaways where once we reach 50 backers, another lucky physical backer will get all of this stuff. When we reach 60 backers, a lucky backer will get all of this stuff. Just to incentivize, will help incentivize continuing to get more backers, because we've got a little less than 9 days left. We hit the big goals I was hoping we would hit, but I want to keep it going, keep the momentum going, basically. I do want to mention, because I don't think I really talked about it. If anyone is interested in this project, you can go to the Kickstarter page, look at it. There's preview pages, 7 preview pages of issue 1, 7 preview pages of issue 2. So
Okay.
a lot to read there. See if it's your flavor, your taste.
It's your
There's
cup
also
of
a
tea.
Kickstarter trailer. I highly recommend everyone watch that. More effort than is needed is put into those trailers. Ultimately, the main reason I try to get that much effort put into them is it's like when I'm making a comic. I try to do like as much as I can to make it the best I can make it. And with those trailers,
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, like even though no more than 100 people will actually watch this trailer, probably even less than that, I still want to make it the best it can be, because it's got a 1940s. I hired a 1940s radio announcer to narrate the
Oh.
trailer and stuff. It's funny. It's a funny trailer. Like the first half is like the ad, but it has some humor in that. Then the last half, since you pay voice actors by specific word count, like every 50 words or every 100 words,
Okay.
I still had a good bit of words left. So I was like, well, don't let it go to waste. I'll get him to say random stuff. And so I got with a buddy of mine. This all started from the first Kickstarter trailer. I did the exact same thing with that, and then just carried it over with this. The voice actor, he's a great guy. He's willing to do this stuff. But I got with my buddy. I was like, what is some weird stuff, no language, but some weird stuff you would want to hear a 1940s radio announcer say? And so we wrote up random stuff. Like in the first Kickstarter trailer, got him to say stuff like, "Me mow, moo mow, I am a cow." And "What are you talking about, Willis?" And I'm trying to remember. Music peaked with the creation of ska. Like just random stuff like that. And in this trailer, we kind of did the same. I didn't do as much of them as the first trailer. But it was basically like both trailers midway through, it gets a little meta, like he breaks the fourth wall. Like in this one, once the main ad ends for the Kickstarter, he's like, you hear like a mic move, like he moves the mic away, and he's like, a second issue? I can't believe they had me reading for this book again. He's like, if only I could do voiceover work and say stuff that I yearn to say. Stuff like, yo, mama so fat, when she sits around the house, she sits around the house. And then got him to say a few other things. And then by the end, he's like, if I could say all of those things, only then could I finally reach Nirvana. And that's the end of the trailer. Just like stupid stuff like that. I find it kind of funny. But yeah, I
I have to go check it out. It sounds hilarious.
yeah. Watch the first Kickstarter's trailer. Like you can find it on my Kickstarter profile. Watch that first trailer, and then watch the second trailer. You don't have to watch both of them, but I recommend watching those. But yeah, if you watch the trailer, read the campaign, read those preview pages. If you're into it, I hope you back the book. Those that are listening, again, only way to read it is to pledge to this Kickstarter. It won't be available other than like local conventions. That's the only way it'll be available. And in case I haven't already said it, the basic premise of this miniseries is it's set in the 1940s in a satirically and campy and over the top world of superheroes. And within that, you have the Gallows Man. You have his team, which includes Newsboy, a butler named Bertwald, and a billionaire backer who supports them named Jamie. They have to stop this Nazi threat, this Nazi cult that has infiltrated their city, not only to save the city, but to avenge the Gallows Man's former mentor. And the best way to describe this tonally is take the 1960s Adam West Batman show, mix in some Quentin Tarantino movie violence, and you got the Gallows Man. That's the best way to put it. Oh no, the printer ninjas have captured Captain Goggles. They've got him. They're interrogating him of his printing tactics.
All right, I'm back.
Whenever he froze up, I was saying the printing ninjas had got you. They had been interrogating you of your printing tactics.
I heard tactics. I was like,
Okay.
All right, that sounds. I don't know what terms. There's a it's me. I commented. That all sounds great. So like anyone watching, go check it out. Check out the trailer. Back it if you like it, and we're gonna sign off. I'll do my sign off, and then or unless I think you just pretty much said where I can find you. So
yeah,
but go check out the Linktree Turaco Comics. If you want to get this bundle, it's these three mini comics. This is a little side story of Masked Woman before she meets Captain Goggles. So this is just about her. But what's cool about this version is that it turns into like a little journal, so you can actually, it's Masked Woman's field journal, so you can actually use it as a journal. And so check it out. And this has the first 2 issues. And the full comic with these will be coming up hopefully in a few weeks, maybe next month, and that will be up on Etsy. So check out the Linktree, check out my channel, check out Raub on YouTube. And if you want to get a cool shirt, stuff like that, there we do have the Teespring store on the Turaco Comics, the Turaco Creative Cast. So go check it out. And I think that's it. And Brendan, thank you for coming on. And sorry, there's so many attacks by the print ninjas. And is there anything else you want to say? And you can sign
Yeah,
off.
people can just find me Facebook and Instagram, Dismay Comics, DISMAY Comics. You can follow along with the Gallows Man. If you're able to and willing, check out that Kickstarter page, back the Kickstarter. Let's keep this going, keep the giveaways going and different stuff like that. But yeah, you can follow Facebook and Instagram, see the journey with the Gallows Man and making it, and various other projects and stuff. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right. Thanks for coming, guys. We'll see you next time on the Turaco Creative Cast. This has been Frank Salazar, aka Captain Goggles, signing out. And all right.